Welcome to another bonus episode, a bonus episode of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland, and today we're going to talk a little bit about some of these issues with players getting involved in, questionable activity, we'll say, and not being charged by the police, but sometimes the NFL is levying its own fines on players, even though they were not found guilty by police or in public court of law. And we're going to talk about a few games as well that are coming up this Sunday. We know tonight is Thursday Night Football. We're looking forward to that. Cardinals, 49ers, and if you did not catch the morning show, you can listen to the morning show and get our take on that, or my take on that. But these issues of players getting and putting themselves in bad situations has become more regular. We're seeing different things with domestic violence, which really doesn't fall in line with what I'm talking about, but you get the point. And now we have Talib, who cheddar bobbed himself. It's now coming out that he shot himself, kind of plexicode himself. And first, it was thought that he was shot by someone, which he said was the case. And he does have a bit of a history of being in trouble. In Dallas, there was a few instances where he was reported shooting a gun into the air. Obviously, he wasn't charged brandishing a gun in a situation. He was not charged for that. Those charges were dropped. And also with these charges were dropped as well. Now, should the NFL be fining players because of these instances that they get into, even though they're not charged? Should they still face some kind of suspension or fine from the league? Now, we know the players and how they worked out this collective bargaining agreement has put Roger Goodell as judge, jury, and executioner. We've seen how that works out. But in this case, especially with the Talib case, I don't think there should be any kind of suspension or fine at all. You know, the NFL cannot be the end-all, be-all, and they're not bigger than the Supreme Court. They're not bigger than law enforcement, those who are in charge of protecting and serving. They are a business, and a business does have to protect its reputation, but there wasn't anything that, as far as league rules, that Talib violated. And with any player, as long as it's not league rules that have been violated, because obviously they're not allowed to bring guns to the stadium. They're not allowed to bring guns to anything that is NFL sponsored. Obviously, that would be considered guns in the workplace, and they don't allow that. So as long as those things are not violated, then there should be no extra punishment coming from the NFL. Now, we know with the Deflategate, I don't like that either. You can say what you want about whether the footballs were deflated or not. You can't say that a person isn't liable on something and then they come back and basically, like double jeopardy, charge him with wrongdoing, him being Tom Brady, and he serves a 4-game suspension. That's ridiculous. You either are right or you're wrong. You can't keep going back and forth here to try to appease people. But if there's a suspension that comes down from Roger Goodell in this instance, you can best believe that if I'm Talib, I'm definitely taking this to higher powers. I'm definitely taking this to, and it won't stand. It will not stand. There's no way it could stand. If it does, you're going to see some real big backlash on that. But I think the no suspension, the no finding, and the team that shouldn't do anything either. There was no rules as far as NFL is concerned that were violated. So those type of matters need to stay as personal matters, something that happened outside of work, and it was handled. And we're moving on. No charges, no harm, no foul. Now let us take a look at some of these games that are coming up in the NFL season. We know it's a big time of year, and it's starting to get into crunch time. It's starting to get in those times where, it's put up or shut up. You can't get too far behind. If you're 1-3, 1-4 is going to be hard to get out of. And we come up on the matchup of the Tennessee Titans and the Miami Dolphins, both 1-3. I think the Titans have a lot of talent. They're growing. I like what they're doing with DeMarco Murray. And he's been a huge integral part in their success. They could have some more consistency on defense. And we look at the Miami Dolphins and all the parts and pieces that they have on that defense and on that offense. And it seems to me that they can't seem to put things together consistently. And whether it's an organizational problem, whatever, it still seems to keep reoccurring. You saw last week, it was like a revolving door for Tannehill not being protected. Guys were just coming through, getting to him quickly. I like the Titans in this matchup. Young, aggressive, hungry. I'm not really sold on the collective defense of the Dolphins. Very inconsistent over there, and I think the Titans can come in, just nab one, and keep themselves from going 1-3. And we look at the New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jets 1-3. Little bit of a surprise there. We look at the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-1. They had a hiccup, came back and exacted revenge in their win to go to 3-1. And I like the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. A better team. I think they realized that they maybe slept on their opponent and got hiccuped by the Eagles. And Mike Tomlin is one of the best in the league, knows how to motivate his guys, and they're going to keep the ball rolling and get to 4-1 on the year there. Now we look at the Chicago Bears and the Indianapolis Colts, two teams who are really reeling, but anytime you have Andrew Luck, without the lack of that running game that they don't have over there in Indy, they're still able to move the ball on the outside with the weapons. Andrew Luck's taking a lot of hits, though, man. He's taking a lot of hits, but you have to like what Brian Hoyer is doing at the quarterback position. He could very well keep this job. It looks like guys are really rallying around him. They like what he does. Coaching likes what he does as far as distributing the football, and young guys are stepping up. Now, Kevin White is out, but I don't think that makes much of a difference. I don't think he's much of a factor either way. Defensively, though, they're very inconsistent, but with the balance can help. And with the way that the sacks have been getting tallied up on Andrew Luck, they have some opportunities to try to win this football game. But I'm still going to go with the Indianapolis Colts at home. Andrew Luck gets it done, and you just can't go against his experience and his continual fighting attitude and motivating his team there. Being at home does help as well. Now we'll look at the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota's on a roll, man. 4-0. Who would ever thought that this team would be 4-0 coming in to the fifth week of the season? And you have to like what Sam Bradford brings to the table. I thought when they got Sam that it was questionable, although I think he's playing in front of a better offensive line than he's ever played in front of before. Doesn't have Adrian Peterson at the running back position, but that defense is unbelievable. Getting after the quarterback, holding teams to 14 points or less. You can't argue with that. And as long as he has to do is protect the football and move the ball down, getting it to Diggs, getting it to Rudolph, who's starting to emerge and get back into the swing of things. You see Cordell Patterson getting back in the swing of things as well. You have to like what they're doing over there. Texans, you know that Brock Osweiler is good for an interception a game, And I think turnovers are going to be big in this football game. I do think it's going to be a close matchup, though. But I think in the end, it's going to be the turnovers for the Houston Texans that decide it. And the Vikings are going to be 5-0, guys. 5-0 after this weekend's matchup. Next, we're going to look at the Philadelphia Eagles going on a 3-0 streak here, having that early bye week. Some people felt that it may kill the rhythm, kill this momentum that they built up in the first 3 weeks. But they're going against the Detroit Lions. And although Matthew Stafford, I like what the offense brings for him and that offense, I just think the Eagles are a better team. And I think we may have underestimated what Doug Peterson and his staff would be able to do with a lot of these young guys. And Carson Wentz, you have to like what he's doing. I think he's top quarterback as far as right now. Guys playing right now has to be the top quarterback going into week 5. I like this team a lot, and I think the Eagles get the win, go to 4-0 on the year. And our last game we're going to look at in this 6-game stint or look, the Redskins and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Baltimore got that win last week, did an excellent job of fighting till the end. And it's the Battle of the Beltway, ladies and gentlemen. Battle of the Beltway. And I do like the Washington offense over the Ravens offense. What I don't like, though, is I don't like the Washington defense. Washington's defense has been an enigma in trying to stop the run. Stopping the run is something that is super important. And really, they haven't been able to stop the run because they haven't been able to wrap guys up. Not making tackles is something teams have gotten a lot of extra yards off the Washington Redskins by missed tackles. I think they're going to shore that up this week. And they're going to have to. They're going to go against a little bit of a not as strong of a running game in Baltimore. But anytime you're going against Joe Flacco, anytime you're in Baltimore and you have Steve Smith and the likes of, it's going to be a tough matchup. But I like the weapons that the Redskins have. They got out to a fast start against Cleveland. I think the defense will rally. They brought in a few guys to help out in the secondary and to have that a better rotation there. I think they shore it up on defense and get the tackling better. They're going to get off to a quick start against Baltimore with all the weapons that they have over there with the likes of Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garçon. You saw them really utilizing Jordan Reed heavily against the Cleveland Browns at home. I like what Matt Jones did in the running game, and I think they're going to lean on that. They've learned from that. They're going to lean on that, and that's going to help them. And I think the Redskins will win this game just solely because their offense is just better than what Baltimore is bringing to the table. So that's our slate of games that we're going to talk about. We thank you so much for listening to the show, this bonus show. If you have any questions, if you have something that you want to hear us talk about, shoot me an email. Shoot me an email to straightshootingst@gmail.com. We're talking football because football is hot right now. That's what's going on. But if you have an NBA question, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Preseason's coming up. You know, we're starting to get geared up for that season. We'll talk about whatever it is that you'd like to talk about. And if we can't talk about it, hey, we'll try to bring something. We're going to start trying to have some people on this show where we can talk about these things, these different things in sports. Next, if you just want to talk shop, you want to get at me immediately, you can shoot me a tweet at NotBland21 on Twitter, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, and we can talk shop there. And, hey, we'll even discuss your question that you bring to us through Twitter right here on this show on Straight Shooting Sports Talk. We thank you so much. You guys have a great day and enjoy Thursday Night Football. I don't know if it's going to be a great matchup, but hey, it's football. Football's on, so enjoy. Good afternoon.